What's up everybody, Super fan here, and I want to do a separate video on the new 2018 Mustang that was just spied. So we've just seen a bunch of spy shots of it running around here for the first time, and I want to do a roundup of all the rumors and all the speculation that's been going on about the new 2018 Mustang, because there's been a lot of good speculation. So, but yeah, first thing, the pictures of it here, it looks really cool. So, I mean, it's obviously heavily camouflaged, but there are some key differences that we can tell here with the new version here for 2018. And of course, now, you know, there was rumors about, is there even going to be any kind of refresh for 2018? And this confirms that there will be. Obviously, since the entire car is camouflaged, means there's probably changes to just about every panel of one form or another. The main changes, of course, will be up front and in the back, you know, typical to how you saw like the refresh for 2013 for the Mustang. New headlights, front bumper, you know, new taillights, rear bumper, that kind of stuff is all to be expected. Now, if you look at this spy shots here, a couple of things you can figure out. First, it looks like the nose is slightly lower and it juts out a little bit more there with the grille area. And we've been hearing a lot of rumors that the 2018 Mustang will borrow a lot of styling elements from the Shelby, which also has kind of a lower nose. So it's the 2018 Mustang is gonna kind of get the Shelby nose in a way, is kind of the rumor right now. And then the new Shelby for 2018 is going to go in a more extreme direction. And so that's kind of how the evolution of things is going to go, according to the rumors and speculation. Just some of the things that I've been hearing and whatnot. Again, nothing confirmed, nothing official, of course. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the first things you can see there. You can also see that the headlights are camouflaged there, and they are different in a couple of ways. The first is, if you zoom in there, you can see that the little LED gill lights that are the daytime running lights on the 2015 and up Mustangs, they now come to a point, and they're kind of like arrows in shape versus just the straight lines that you had in the current gen Mustang right now. And so that's obviously a new design element there, just to make it a little bit sharper, of course. And in addition to that, though, what you can also see is the camouflage. The way that it comes down, you can see that the new fender line comes out further, so that the headlight is a little shorter and it's not quite as long, which will kind of get rid of, some people still complain that the current Mustang looks a little bit too much like a Ford Fusion. And so if they shorten those headlights there and make them a little more squared off than the long rectangular ones that are currently on the Mustangs, that would certainly help to get rid of that resemblance there. And so that's another thing that, you know, you kind of can see there. And just to illustrate how this new front end could look, there was actually someone on the Mustang 60 forums that did a rendering here and graciously allowed me to show the picture here for you guys. And that kind of gives you an idea, if you peel away that camouflage, how those body panels there around the headlights meet and how those new LEDs could look. Again, just a rendering, nothing official, and kind of shows you how the grille could be a little more aggressive there as well. So just something to give you an idea of kind of what we may be seeing here. You know, the camouflage is very clever and could be playing tricks on our eyes, and they're, you know, could look completely different, but that's kind of, you know, where it's kind of heading. So let me know your thoughts as far as that rendering goes and what you would think if that was the 2018 Mustang design. In the back end there, it's a lot harder to tell because they've just completely flattened everything out, really. You can see that it does have tri-bar tail lamps, but what it looks like is that the center tri-bar is a little bit larger, or it's just the angle of the pictures, but it seems like the outer bars are either smaller or angled, or there's some kind of curvature going on or something like that. Not totally sure. Again, they do a very good job of camouflaging these cars for this reason, so that all of us go wild with speculation and, you know, all these crazy thoughts about what it could be, what it might not be. So again, just, you know, fun to kind of guess and try and peek through the camouflage to figure out what's going on there. But we can, you know, assume some kind of updated taillights that look a little bit more modern and, you know, things like that. And yeah, otherwise, though, there's a few other small things. Now, the wheels on this car, it's wearing wheels off of a 2010 Shelby GT500, so don't count on those wheels or anything like that. This car is wearing Brembo brakes, though, only up front, though, not in the back there. So this could just be a standard GT, or it could be, you know, a performance pack, I'm not sure. But it is most likely a GT, although there aren't any vents in the hood. So again, those could be covered up and just not being used for this prototype, or they could be doing a different hood design without vents. That's also a possibility. Another thing that's a possibility is two things about the side and the top. Now, the only part of the car that isn't camouflaged is the top there, and it looks like it's just a black painted roof, which is now an option here for 2017 already. The 2017 Mustangs, you can get a black painted roof, so that's nothing new. But the interesting thing is there isn't any satellite radio antenna on the roof there, which could lead to a rumor that's been persisting. There's a niche of people that really want the glass roof option to return, and that often makes a return in the mid-cycle refresh of all the cars. I think it was 2009 that it had it for the older body styles there, and it was of course available on the 2013 as well. And then they're saying that it could be coming back here for the refresh of the 2018 Mustang here. So again, that's just a possibility, but it could be they'll just relocate the satellite radio antenna to the trunk like they do on the convertibles or something like that, or find some other way to integrate it. And so this could maybe be a hint towards that. Again, that's still a really big leap of faith to make just based off of the lack of that antenna. But just another little thing. And the other strange thing about this car, this mule, is that they also camouflage the rear quarter window, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, because if it's a refresh, one, there's no reason to really camouflage that, because it'd be the same as the current car. And it's also kind of strange they even camouflage the doors and stuff, because although they're camouflaged, they look like they're the same shape, have the same body lines, things like that. And for example, with the 2018, I should say, sorry, Ford F-150, they only camouflaged the front end and the back end, and the sides were left uncamouflaged. So the fact that the entire car here is camouflaged on the Mustang means there must be some kind of small changes to it for some reason that they need to camouflage those parts. So you're not sure what that's about, but the fact that they camouflaged that rear window there is a little interesting. So I'm hoping they do some kind of cool louvered type rear window there or something. And even on the Autoblog story, they reported about maybe that could harken to a bullet version, and it makes them want a bullet version. And we know that the 2018 model year, that will mark the 50th anniversary of the movie Bullet. And so, who knows? Maybe they'll come out with a Bullet edition. I would absolutely love that. As many of you know, I'm obsessed with the Bullet car. And so if they did a Bullet edition of the 2018 Mustang, as soon as I heard the news about that, I would immediately grab my keys, drive down to my nearest Ford dealership, and place a deposit. It'd be as simple as that as far as the decision-making process for me. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But lots of exciting stuff as far as just the exterior styling of the 2018 Mustang goes, and what it could have. Other things about the car that are rumored that we obviously can't see because of these spy pictures. But the first is that there could be some interior changes, like there often are for mid-cycle refreshes. There's rumors of there possibly being some kind of digital gauge cluster going on. We do know that at Consumer Electronics Show back in January of this year, we saw a prototype interior that was just done by Delphi, and it was just it wasn't even an official Ford thing. I'm not sure, but they said that that's something that could actually be put into production very easily and very soon. So that could be the 2018 Mustang interior. That's still a little futuristic though. Who knows? Maybe they'll really knock our socks off with something like that. Could be something a little more middle of the road, maybe a slightly larger screen, some slight improvements there. But actually, there could be less changes on the inside than there are on the outside, because the current interior is wearing very well, and I don't think there's too many complaints there in that area. So that's it as far as the interior goes. Now, as far as the mechanical stuff, there's been all kinds of rumors as well about what they're going to change mechanically for the 2018 Mustangs. We do know that there'll probably be a couple maybe trickle down features from the Shelby. We've been seeing a lot of prototypes running around with quad exhaust tips, which means that it could get a similar exhaust setup to the Shelby, which includes having an active exhaust with a switch to make it loud and quiet, which would be very much appreciated, I'm sure, by many, and be an option, just like how the Camaro SS has an active exhaust option as well. So that could be one of the things. Another thing is magnetic ride control. That's a little bit more of a stretch and a leap, but again, something that a lot of people have been wanting and could be a cool trickle down part. If not for a standard GT, then possibly for a Mach 1 or a Bullet or something like that, some kind of special edition that gets that. And we also know, now this is one thing that has been basically essentially confirmed, is that there will be the new 10-speed automatic in the 2018 Mustang. It's already shown up on the, I guess, some of the internal dealer sites as the 10-speed being an option under the Mustang there for the 10-speed automatic. It was co-developed with GM. It's the one that's currently in the Camaro ZL1, and it's also been already confirmed for the new Ford Raptor. And so it's probably going to make its way into the Mustang here. So whether that gets put into the Shelby as well to finally give the Shelby the automatic option that'll make it a lot quicker and more competitive as well, or whether they'll go with a different type of transmission is yet to be determined for the Shelby or for the regular GT there. But most likely there'll be a much faster, more improved automatic transmission, probably the 10-speed there for the Mustangs as well. As far as engine improvements go, we've been hearing rumors that it'll obviously get a bump in horsepower most likely. Some of those rumors are that it'll be as small as like another 15 horsepower bump like it got from the 2013 to the 2015 models, or it could be something a little bit more, maybe 460 horsepower, you know, for a 25 horsepower bump. And they said those enhancements would come probably by the same kind of enhancements they've done to the EcoBoost V6 engines for the F-150s, where you get, you know, the direct injection and port injection as well. So you clean that out and you don't get the gunked up issues that you get normally with standard direct injection motors. So that is one of the other rumors. It could just get some breathing improvements, some of the stuff from the Ford Performance catalog that's ported over Ford Racing parts to kind of give it, you know, maybe like a Boss or a GT350 intake manifold, something like that, to give it a little boost in power as well. So, you know, everything's still on the table there as far as that goes, but probably some kind of, you know, horsepower bump in the 10, 15, 25 horsepower range, nothing, you know, life-changing. And of course, the EcoBoost model could benefit from some of the improvements from the Focus RS. It might not have as much horsepower as the Focus RS, but could be, you know, relatively close. And, you know, be maybe 340 horsepower, 330 or so for a nice little bump there as well. And it is expected that the V6, it's likely that it will be dropped completely and it won't be an option for 2018, that they're just going to go EcoBoost and then the GT and the Shelby, and there will not be a V6 model anymore. Again, that is not confirmed either, but that's just the, you know, most recent rumor, I suppose, as far as, you know, things that we've been hearing on the forums and whatnot. It's just unlikely that they continue on with that V6 since it really isn't in any other products anymore. So let me know your thoughts on, you know, this proposed 2018 Mustang and all the rumored changes and all the speculation about it here. Now, as far as when we'll actually see the production version uncamouflaged, it could be as soon as the LA Auto Show in November. Middle of November is when that happens, and that's when they unveiled the 2013 refresh. So we could be seeing it there. It might wait until the Detroit Auto Show, although that may be a great opportunity to unveil maybe the refreshed Shelby or a GT500 if that still ever comes, which is looking more and more unlikely as time goes on. It could be that, it could be some kind of Bullet, Mach 1, you know, something like that. So not sure when we'll see all this stuff, but certainly I think Detroit would be the latest we would see it, which is, you know, early January there. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but shouldn't have too much longer to wait to see, you know, what all the changes are that are in store for the new Mustang. So let me know your thoughts on all this. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.